The world of raw selvage denim jeans and raw denim goods in general is very complex and nuanced, and is something that I highly recommend that you research, especially if this is your first time getting into it, because you can waste a lot of money on things that either don't fit, or things that don't look good on you, or things that just don't fit your needs. Raw selvage denim jeans is a lot more than just getting a pair of jeans. It's something that's a lot more personal to the wearer, and it's something that you're going to own for a very long time, and it is going to essentially mold to your lifestyle and mold to your body, which is why if you're gonna have something for this long, you want to make sure that you do the background research before you get anything in the category of raw denim, because like I said, it's very complex, and us denim heads have made many mistakes before, myself included. I mean, I've made so many mistakes, and today I just wanted to share with you guys everything that I feel like you should know before getting your first pair of raw selvage denim, or things that you should just know in general, even if you've had raw denim before. I mean, I've been doing fashion and raw denim YouTube for about two and a half years now, or something like that, and I've learned so much throughout my journey, not just being engaged with the raw denim community, but also meeting professionals in New York, in America, and all over Japan as well. And I just wanted to kind of update you guys on what I've learned when it comes to buying raw selvage denim. It's been a while since I've done a video like this, and we've put on a lot of new followers ever since that last video. So for those guys, welcome, and I hope you've been having fun with the channel. But today I just wanted to circle back to my roots, which is the raw denim world. So essentially, the most important thing in my opinion that everybody should know about before getting into raw denim is, do you want an unsanforized pair of raw denim jeans, or do you want a sanforized pair of raw denim jeans? Now this gets very complex, but I'm going to try and break it down as simply as possible. Essentially, unsanforized denim is denim in its purest form. It is denim that is unwashed. It is denim that is unsteamed. So essentially, the sanforization process refers to how denim fabric is pre-shrunk and pre-singed, because denim that is unsanforized has a lot of loose cotton hairs, and a lot of brands tend to undergo that sanforization process to be able to have a cleaner jean, quote unquote. However, there are a lot of people out there that really like that look, myself included, and you know, this is a look that can really only be achieved by getting unsanforized denim. Now the thing with unsanforized versus sanforized denim is that unsanforized denim, if you get it at its purest form, it's gonna shrink a lot, up to 15, sometimes even 20%, depending on the denim that you're getting, which is why a lot of brands will recommend that you size up as much as 3 times your original size. And essentially what you'll have to do is you will have to wear these jeans in the hot shower, or recommended, in my opinion, a hot bathtub, and sit in there for probably about an hour or so, and you're essentially shrinking the jeans to your body size, to your body measurements, to your perfect fit. And this is how denim was made originally. Now the thing is, to a lot of people this is a very arduous task, and some people like myself don't have a bathtub where you can do this in. So I usually tend to go for sanforized denim, or what's called unsanforized rinse denim, which is another category which we will talk about next. But essentially, sanforized denim, simply put, takes all of that guesswork out of it, and it is usually pre-shrunk, and you don't really have to worry about this too much as long as you understand what the terms mean, because everywhere that you're going to buy raw denim jeans from is going to tell you whether or not the denim is sanforized or unsanforized. Just make sure you read the description of whatever you're buying. All right, now circling back to the unsanforized rinsed or one wash denim, this is where denim really starts to get very nuanced. Essentially, there are multiple different finishing techniques for raw selvage denim, or selvage denim goods in general, that a lot of brands will take, one of which being a rinse or a one wash finishing, which essentially pre-washes the jeans very lightly before they are given to the client, before they are given to the customer. And what this does, it softens the jean, and it also removes a lot of the nasty chemicals that come about as a result from the dyeing process, which a lot of people don't like, which is why I personally tend to usually go for one wash myself. Now, the thing that's very confusing about this is that you can get Sanforized one washed or rinsed jeans, and you can also get Unsanforized one wash or rinsed jeans, and this is where things get very complicated. But simply put, a lot of brands will take Unsanforized denim and they will not put them through the steaming and singeing process of sanforization. They will simply take the jeans, they will make them in the unsanforized fabric, and then they will just put them straight through a rinse or a wash or a finishing. And essentially what that will do is it will maintain the gritty, slubby, very texturized and very hairy fabric of the original unsanforized denim look, while pre-shrinking and removing all of that guesswork and removing all of that uncomfortable, very crunchy, very starchy feeling from the denim. Because when denim is made and it is unsanforized, essentially denim is full of starch, and this is what they use to get an even dye job on the cotton yarns when it's going through the whole process. I also really enjoy unsanforized one wash denim because it maintains the denim qualities that I know and love and that a lot of denim nerds know and love, but it also removes that whole bathtub, shower, all of that extra stuff and all of those extra steps that you have to take when getting unsanforized denim. You get a really good, beautiful, luxury texturized product with a little bit more of a brighter blue due to the rinse or due to the wash right out the gate, and it's still gonna fade over time just as beautifully as if it was raw denim. Now, the thing is, a lot of people will technically argue that one washed or rinsed denim is not raw, and to be honest, they're right. And I've tried to argue this over and over and over again, but I will concede that yes, it is technically not raw. But the thing is, that does not mean that this denim will not fade, because it absolutely will. One washed and rinsed denim is literally made to be faded. It is made to undergo that same fading process, because denim that's dyed with indigo takes a very long time to fade, and it takes more than just water. It takes abrasion, it takes living in, it takes years and years of wear to accomplish a super faded pair of jeans, which is why this stuff is literally still made to fade. So don't let that deter you. All right, now that we got the baseline stuff that you have to know out of the way when it comes to buying raw denim, another thing that I feel like people don't really talk about too often is the denim weight. Now, why is the denim weight important? Well, essentially denim weight is going to determine how many seasons out of the year the jean is going to be comfortable to wear. So typically, in my opinion, this is just in my experience how I break down denim weights. Anything between 10 to 12 ounces is pretty lightweight, and it is pretty much a spring summer jean. It is something that you probably don't want to get away with in the fall and the winter. It's going to be very cold. 12.5 ounces to about 14.5 ounces is pretty much a 3-season jean. I mean, maybe you can get away with 12 ounces in the summertime, but when you start hitting the 13 and 14 ounce weights, you're not going to really want to wear these in the summertime. It's going to get sticky and uncomfortable. And then going from 14.5 ounce and up, those are going to be really heavyweight stuff. Those you're probably going to get away with in the early spring, in the late fall, and everything in between, especially during the winter time. These are going to be your winter jeans. I mean, the cold is not going to penetrate those weights, and they're also going to fade very fast from what I've experienced. I feel like heavier weight denim, at least under about 20 ounces, fades very quickly. The thing is, you're going to want to wash these a little bit more often, because heavier weight denim does happen to absorb less abrasion. It starts to cause a lot of friction with itself, which, you know, I've seen a lot of people complain that a lot of heavier weight denim tends to fray and rip a lot more often. That can be easily avoided by just washing them more often and, you know, maintaining repairs whenever they need to be repaired. But yeah, again, just to recap that whole thing, 10 to 12, 12.5 maybe, is pretty much going to be your lightweight summer weights, and then 12.5 to 14.5, pretty much mid-weight, 3 seasons, and then 14.5 and up, those are going to be your colder weather jeans. Those are the things that you're really going to want to wear when you're going to be layering, because it's freaking cold out and those things are very, very burly. The next thing that you really want to know about, especially if you haven't gone into the world of raw selvage denim before, is you want to understand your measurements. Now, why is this super important, specifically if you've ever only bought store-bought jeans. What's interesting about those is that those are sized by what's called vanity measurements and not skin measurements. So vanity measurements essentially, for example, I would be a 31 in a vanity size jean, but my waist actually measures a 33, 33 and a quarter, somewhere around there. And this is going to be true for every vanity size store-bought jean that you will find. The thing with raw selvage denim is that they are usually sized by skin sizes. Now, why is that important? Because if you end up buying a 31 in a raw denim size, it is not going to fit. That thing is going to finish at about 31 and a half inches, giving you literally no room to button the jean. It's going to feel uncomfortable. You should have a little bit of space in the jean at the waistband. You really don't want that thing on your skin. If it feels even the littlest bit tight, you're gonna wanna size up. Now, what you're gonna wanna do, which I recommend that everybody does, is take a pair of jeans that fits you. Anything, it doesn't have to be raw denim. Just understand that these jeans that fit you, they're already washed, they're already pre-shrunk, so you're gonna kind of wanna take note of that. But essentially, you are going to measure these jeans and you are going to compare them to the size charts for wherever you're buying your raw denim from. And you're going to have to note that these are finished measurements. Now, I haven't done a measuring video in a while. I might do another one at some point, but for now, I'm gonna link one in the description as well as in the video card somewhere on the screen. This is a really good measurement guide that I think everybody should follow, and it's gonna really help you avoid any issues when it comes to buying raw selvage denim. So essentially, you're gonna take these measurements and you're going to find yourself a pair of Sanforized raw denim jeans, and you're going to compare these measurements to the finished measurements that you have from your garment. Now, why do I recommend doing this with the Sanforized denim? This is going to be your size, your baseline size that you are going to use. Now, different brands are going to have different names for different fits. Doesn't matter what the fit is called. It could be called anything, but you just want to make sure that these jeans, these measurements are going to be conducive and comparable to the size that you bought. You want to take note of that, so this way, whenever you're buying raw selvage denim jeans, you will know that this is going to be the size that you're going to purchase. This is your size that is going to pretty much transfer to most other brands. You're just going to have to kind of figure out which fit works for you. But this takes a lot of the guesswork out, and it takes out a lot of mistakes, so this way you don't waste money on things that don't look good on you, things that don't fit you. And then from there on, you can decide, all right, how many sizes should I size up for an unsanforized pair of jeans if that's where you want to go. But for the first time, you want to compare Sanforized with finished measurements from your store-bought jeans and then go from there, so at least you have a baseline understanding of what your sizing is in Japanese raw selvage denim and just raw denim goods in general. And the last thing that I really want you guys to understand, because this is a mistake that I personally have made time and time again, buying too many pairs of raw denim jeans at one time will absolutely kill your fading ability. This was one of my biggest mistakes when I first got onto raw selvage denim YouTube. Was I bought like 3 pairs of raw denim jeans at the same time because I wanted to have a rotation, and what ended up happening was, you know, I would wear them all so infrequently that it would take them forever to fade, which is why on this YouTube you guys very rarely ever get a fade update from me, because I'm still cycling through everything that I've worn. I've stopped buying raw denim jeans. So yeah, you just want to make sure that you don't make that mistake. At most, I would buy 2, because I do think that you should start off a rotation, but you shouldn't do it all at once. You should do it sporadically or as you need over time, because the thing is too, is that you're going to, well, your taste is going to change. Your taste for fits is going to change. Your taste for denim is going to change. You know, unless you're getting different denim weights for different seasons, you don't want to get 2 of the same jean that are too similar, because then you're really not going to wear them all that much. You know what I mean? So if you really are looking for that fading capability, just start off with 1 or 2 and then go from there, and, you know, purchase over time. Unless you're traveling to Japan or whatever and you want to get them at a super cheap steal, well, then it makes sense. You know what I mean? But if you're here just buying as many jeans as possible, you know, maybe you want to wait a little bit, because what you want to do is you want to get used to raw denim first, and you want to, you know, it's like a baby. You're going to want to nurture that fading capability, and you're going to want to see how it's going to fade over time. You're going to want to see the way that indigo and denim reacts to the way that you live your life, because that's such a beautiful thing. But yeah, guys, anyways, thank you so much for watching the video. I know this was a super long video, but it was just something that I was thinking about for a little while, because we haven't really done like a raw denim guide in a long time. I know that there are a lot of you guys that are seasoned denim heads that watch this channel, a lot more seasoned than I am, but I also don't want to ignore the people that we have added onto the channel that have subscribed over time that maybe have never gotten into raw denim before and want to give it a try. So I'm doing my best to service everybody, and these are just the things that I have learned over time. And if you guys have any tips or any comments, anything you want to add, definitely drop it down, because you never know who you're helping out in the comments, and I'd also love to hear your tips as well. But anyways, guys, thank you so much, and I am happy to announce that I am finally almost done with my Japanese raw selvedge denim and men's fashion documentary. I don't want to tell you guys the name yet because I want to have all the promotional materials done before I do that, but it is literally finally almost done. After this is literally the hardest thing that I've ever worked on, and I really hope you guys enjoy it. So that's going to be coming pretty soon. I'm just letting you guys know, so stay tuned for that. And with that being said, thank you guys again, and I'll see you next week.